Hello and welcome to The Full Story, the show where we go over the main storyline of a game or series in as straightforward a manner as possible. Today we'll be going over Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Hopefully you learned something, and let's get started. This story begins in the 16th century Sengoku period of Japan, the Sengoku period being a time of constant military conflict mixed with the clashing of people's ideologies. It begins with a young warrior named Isshin Ashina, constantly fighting against the rulers and leaders of the Sengoku period. While each encounter expanded his talents as a swordsman, he would accumulate everything he learned in battle into the Ashina style of sword fighting techniques, in hopes of bolstering his clan's dominance, eventually honing his skill to such a legendary degree that he was given the title Sword Saint. With the growth of his skills and his clan's in turn, he led a coup in the land of Ashina and managed to seize control. He was then known as the hero of the northern country. Right in the middle of these warring times, a wandering shinobi named Ukonzaemon Usui, also known as Owl, finds a young boy on a destroyed battlefield, a result of Isshin's coup. This young boy is our Sekiro. Owl named the boy Wolf and adopted him, teaching him, along with the help of some others, one example being Madame Butterfly, the ways of the shinobi and the Iron Code.
What's the matter, Stray? Nothing left to lose? Well, would you look at that? Fascinating. Will you join me, starving wolf?
2 decades later, Isshin has grown old and ill. The enemy clan's armies are closing in as a result. Desperate to preserve Ashina, Isshin's adopted grandson Genichiro, the now general of the Ashina army, decides to seek out the divine heir Kuro for his special dragon heritage. Kuro's special bloodline allows for a blood bond of immortality to be formed. Genichiro intends to form this bond by gaining Kuro's trust, in order to create an immortal army for Ashina.
The divine heir will be coming with me.
This brings us to Kuro, the only surviving descendant of an ancient clan harboring the dragon heritage. He was adopted and raised in seclusion by Ashina's minister Hirata. Wolf was tasked by Owl to protect Kuro at all costs as part of the Iron Code. Owl is heard saying,
Wolf, never forget the Iron Code.
Yes.
The master is absolute. Wolf, protect your master with your life.
Father.
before dying during the siege of Hirata Estate. It is later discovered that the Hirata Estate wasn't actually sieged by bandits, but by Owl himself, who sided with the Ministry to lead a force with the goal of capturing Kuro. Owl faked his own death before Wolf. He later stabbed Wolf in the back without being detected after Wolf's victory over Madame Butterfly. Owl left Wolf to die in the burning estate. Wolf, having no idea who stabbed him, would lay dying under burning debris. He was then saved by Kuro, who claimed that he couldn't throw away such loyalty.
You fought bravely on my behalf. I cannot throw away such loyalty. Loyal Wolf, take my blood and live again.
He then made a blood pact using his dragon heritage to essentially make Wolf immortal. Wolf later finds himself in a well near the Ashina Reservoir. Branded as a rogue by the Ashina army, he lost his will to live, believing he lost his master Kuro due to not remembering what happened on the night of the Hirata Estate attack. The soldiers tolerated his presence, believing he's no longer a threat. Wolf is later alerted to a letter, dropped to him by a woman called Emma, hinting that hope is not lost and that Kuro is still alive, in need of rescue at Moonview Tower. Wolf immediately takes action, but without a sword is forced to stealthily make his way towards the tower. Once there, he finds Kuro, who commends Wolf for his efforts and gives him the Hirata family heirloom, a sword called Kusabi Maru, along with a gourd full of powerful medicinal water.
Loyal Wolf, I see you are wounded. I have something that may help. It is a special gourd of medicinal waters. Use it to heal your wounds.
Kuro then advises Wolf that they need to escape Ashina Castle.
Right now, we must escape Ashina Castle.
As you say.
There's a secret passage beneath the moat bridge that will take us out of the castle. Lord Ishin told me about it once. I ask you to find that secret passage. Once you find it, signal me with a reed whistle. You know, like you used to long ago. I will join you as soon as I hear it.
Once they escape through the passage, they are confronted by Genichiro, who is intent on capturing Kuro for his immortal army.
Leave this to me.
So the noble shinobi stands in our way.
Wolf and Genichiro clash, with Wolf ultimately losing his arm in the battle in the process.
Is that all the shinobi has to offer? The divine heir will be coming with me.
Wolf is later found by a man named Sekiro, also known as the Sculptor, left for dead where he fought Genichiro. He brings Wolf to his dilapidated temple and nurses him back to health before passing his own prosthetic arm down to Wolf. An arm made by the legendary mechanical and medical genius Dogen for the sculptor himself. After he had his arm cut off battling Ishin, the sculptor spends all of his time carving Buddhas, but every Buddha he carves ends up looking warped and angry, a reflection of the carver as he tries to repent for the wrongs he committed throughout his life. He now offers to help Wolf with his journey by modifying the prosthetic arm, allowing for the use of multiple shinobi tools to make Wolf's journey that much easier.
What is this?
So you're awake. Looks like death is not your fate, just yet.
Wolf then asks about the lone Buddha that stands out from the others, a nicer looking Buddha. The sculptor explains that it was crafted by the true sculptor, and it allows for a man to confront what is inside of him, whether it's sadness, anger, or memories of times long gone.
The kind-faced Buddha near the wall is different from the Buddhas I make. It was carved by the hand of the true sculptor. No matter what I do, any Buddha I carve is an incarnation of wrath. Thus is the fate of those who owe a deep karmic debt. You'll understand when you try carving one for yourself.
It's there that Wolf meets a woman named Emma, an apprentice of Dogen who watches over the sculptor and helps Wolf throughout his journey by enhancing the healing capabilities of the gourd Kuro gave him. She then reveals that she's the creator of the gourd and was instructed by her master to help Wolf in any way she can. She refuses to name her master when Wolf asks.
Forgive me, but for his safety, I cannot reveal his identity. However, my master gave explicit orders to assist you in any way I can. I'm not telling you to trust me. However, I must fulfill my master's orders. The gourd of medicinal water you possess, that was originally a creation of mine. I am a doctor, and I will assist you in that capacity.
After recovering and finding help through some allies, Wolf decides to set off for Ashina Castle in an attempt to rescue Lord Kuro. While out on his initial adventure through Ashina, Wolf comes across a senile old woman believing Wolf to be her son. She rambles on about a special bell that needed to be offered to Buddha. Wolf agrees to take the bell and later finds her son.
A mother knows her own son. Well, anyway, take this bell. It's a charm I made with the young master in mind. Please, offer it to Buddha for his sake.
Injured from battle as he reveals he was a vassal to the Hirata estate, and asks Wolf to tend to his mother, the same senile woman with the bell. He's relieved to hear that we've already acquired the bell.
She kept muttering incoherently. Something about offering it to Buddha.
Wolf brings the bell to the true Buddha back at the dilapidated temple as an offering. He then closes his eyes and prays, only to then find himself in the past, a memory.
Close your eyes. Hear the bell speak to you. The bell's chime will stir your thoughts and awaken old memories from their slumber.
He's now back at the Hirata estate when it was under siege, as he relives everything that happened there and wakes up with his memory of the events intact. Wolf later returns to speak with Emma, telling her about a certain vision he had involving her and Kuro while exploring the Ashina outskirts. There are visions of past events scattered all throughout Ashina that Wolf encounters. He then asks where Kuro is. Emma explains that he's being kept near the keep at Ashina Castle, but the gate to the castle is shut. Wolf, being determined to reach Kuro, immediately sets off again to reach the keep.
I saw you and Lord Kuro in a vision.
A vision?
Yes.
Lord Kuro, it is time, Lady Emma. Yes, I know. Master Genichiro is waiting, is he not? I will return to the top of Ashina Castle. Wolf, that reed whistle we used before. This time, I will use it to call on you.
Where is Lord Kuro right now?
He's being kept near the keep at Ashina Castle. The gate to the castle, however, is shut.
Having to go through a treacherously deep valley inhabited by one of the giant serpents, while stealthily maneuvering past the serpent, Wolf is left without options as he's forced to hide inside of a palanquin. The serpent draws closer to take a peek at the palanquin, where Wolf takes the opportunity to pierce the creature's eye with his sword, before dashing out of the valley as fast as he can. The serpent thrashes wildly, raining blood from its wound as Sekiro manages to escape. Wolf finds himself at the outskirts of the closed gate. Making his way closer, he finds a wide mass of land separating him from the gate, looking to be a barren battlefield. He approaches only to hear a loud threatening yell, followed by a large man on horseback starting to charge at Wolf with a cross-bladed spear.
My name is Kyobu Masataka Oniwa! As I breathe, you will not pass the castle gate!
Claiming his name to be Gyobu Oniwa, he was instructed by Genichiro to guard the gate. An ex-bandit leader, he and his group of bandits were defeated long ago, yet he was spared by Ishin, then recruited into the Ashina army, to then end up as Genichiro's most trusted retainer. Sekiro, facing a difficult fight, manages to defeat Gyobu and get past the gate, one step closer to Kuro. Wolf, soon after the fight, finds a tall man wearing a Tengu mask, calling Wolf a rat and asking for Wolf's name before the Tengu reveals the intention of killing him. Wolf doesn't reveal a name to him. The Tengu then notices Wolf's prosthetic arm and how it reminded him of a certain someone. He sheathes his sword with a laugh and then names Wolf Sekiro.
Tell me your name!
No name to give. You shinobi are all the same. You die nameless, with no one to mourn you. However, your left arm, a prosthetic shinobi arm, it reminds me of... That's it. A one-armed wolf. I like it. Which means Sekiro. That is what I shall name you.
Who are you?
I am the Tengu of Ashina. Come, Sekiro.
Offering to join forces with the newly named Sekiro to hunt some so-called rats, while being surrounded by the bodies of Ministry Shinobi, which he likely killed. Wolf agrees before continuing his mission, fighting his way to Ashina Castle.
Rats out there, and they must be cut down. Every last one of them. It seems you have a talent for killing. Allow me to help you hone that talent. What'll it be, Sekiro? Will you hunt rats with me?
Very well.
Excellent. You'll need this if you're with me, Sekiro.
What is this?
The face of a rat, and where it makes its home. Go and kill it. If you do, I will give you something that will aid you.
The closer he gets, the more challenging the enemies as he eventually reaches the rooftops. Facing off against the many Tengu that guard Isshin and Genichiro, Sekiro reaches Isshin's chamber and finds a note connecting Isshin to the tall Tengu he met earlier, revealing them to be the same person. Sekiro discovers that Emma is constantly taking care of Isshin, as well as the sculptor, and is not only worried about Isshin's health, but also surprised by how he's still alive to begin with, knowing that he goes out to battle as the Tengu.
Lord Isshin is... It's a wonder he is still with us. A miracle.
It also explains how Emma knew the whereabouts of Kuro back at the dilapidated temple. Connecting the dots with the earlier encounter with the Tengu lets us realize that Sekiro's prosthetic arm reminded Tengu Isshin of the sculptor, the shinobi Isshin defeated and named Sekijo, similar to how he named us Sekiro. As Sekiro makes his way to the roof of Ashina Castle, we see Genichiro again, asking Emma about his grandfather Isshin's health before moving to Kuro, asking again to make an immortality pact with him, like he did with Sekiro.
Wonder he is still with us. A miracle.
Is that so? Divine Heir, I'll ask you once more. Accept me into your immortal oath.
Only for Kuro to refuse and claim that his sworn shinobi will risk his life to save him, and that Genichiro's victory that day meant nothing.
I cannot do that, Lord Genichiro. Your victory that day means nothing. He will risk his life to take me home. For he is my shinobi.
Only for Sekiro to then arrive and challenge Genichiro, claiming the battle will only take a moment.
My lord, I have come for you. This will only take a moment.
Let's see. For as long as you are alive, the dragon's blood can never be mine.
Face me.
Shinobi, I didn't think I'd see you again.
As Sekiro gains the upper hand in the battle, Genichiro tries to persuade Sekiro into answering to a different lord. Sekiro swiftly refuses, resulting in Genichiro claiming he will seek power by any means to preserve Ashina.
Would you not answer to a different lord?
Heresy.
Revealing a secret technique called the Lightning of Tomoe, letting him seemingly control the properties of lightning with a sword.
If it is for the sake of preserving Ashina, I will seize any manner of heretical strength. I will endure any burden. Behold the lightning of turmoil.
They fight once again, only for Sekiro to come out victorious. After the hard-fought battle, to Sekiro and Emma's surprise, Genichiro gets back up. Seemingly resurrected, as it's revealed he drank the rejuvenating waters to obtain immortality. The difference from the dragon blood being that the rejuvenating waters have a slightly different stagnation effect. It will eat at your humanity and sanity until you're a shell of your former self, driven to insanity. Genichiro says that Ashina is everything to him and claims that he will shed humanity itself for the sake of its preservation before retreating.
Ashina, this land is everything to me. For her sake, I will shed humanity itself.
Resurrection.
Yes. Indeed.
The top of Ashina Castle is now free of threats, leaving Sekiro, Emma, and Kuro. Sekiro requests that he and Kuro leave Ashina forever to escape, but Kuro instead suggests a ritual, one that would rid himself of the dragon heritage and immortality altogether, so that it would cause no more trouble. It's also hinted that Kuro will die in the process. Knowing this, Sekiro recalls his father figure Owl, and the Iron Code he was bound to follow, which was to protect and obey the young lord.
Listen, Wolf. You must never forget the Shinobi Code. As your father, my word is absolute. Your master's is a close second. As of today, he is your master. Defend him with your life. If he is taken, bring him back at any cost. You understand me, don't you, Wolf?
Sure that I...
He denies Kuro's request, knowing that the ritual would result in death, going against the Iron Code. Kuro states that he doesn't want to bind Sekiro to an eternity of undeath and pleads to have the ritual take place, to end these issues at its source, his bloodline. Sekiro finally gives in, agreeing to Kuro's request and ultimately obeying the young lord, as the Iron Code also states, must be done.
Wolf, will you help me achieve this aim?
Father, I cannot break the Iron Code. I cannot. To protect you, the divine heir. That was the duty my father entrusted to me.
How many times have you died and come back to life for my sake? 2, 3 times? Or perhaps a number so large that it cannot be counted?
As it was for the purpose of defending my lord, the number does not matter.
I do not wish to bind you to an eternity of undeath. Wolf, join me in my quest to sever the ties of immortality.
As you wish.
Thank you, loyal Wolf.
With a new goal in mind, Kuro tasks Sekiro with finding the necessary tools required to complete the immortal severance ritual. He mentions a note he found along with an incense burner that belonged to a divine heir long ago named Takeru. Kuro believes the incense burner is the key to completing the ritual, as the words Takeru left behind say, "Wrapped in the aroma of the fountainhead, I return to the divine realm."
Ancient record that was kept in Ashina Castle.
Sacred dragon tears from the divine realm.
Yes, It is my belief that with the dragon tears, it may be possible to sever the dragon's heritage.
But the divine realm? How do we...
I know. Wolf, that incense burner over there, it belonged to a person of interest. Take a look.
Is there something special about it?
I'm told that long ago, there was another divine heir living here in Ashina Castle. His name was Lord Takeru. This incense burner belonged to him.
Where is he now?
He died a long time ago, apparently. Wrapped in the aroma of the fountainhead, I returned to the divine realm. Those are supposedly the words he left behind.
You're saying the scent of the fountainhead is the key to reaching the divine realm?
That is my belief. Wolf, let us discover the truth together. Now, as to how we begin our search. I am certain some of Lord Takeru's books remain in this castle. Books that he collected in order to find the divine realm. I will search for them.
In addition to finding a way to reach the divine realm, might we also look into how we might sever the immortal ties?
A fine suggestion. Talk to Ishin. If anyone knows the answer, it is him.
Before leaving, Sekiro speaks with Emma, where she then reveals she was finally able to fulfill her master's orders, and thanks Sekiro. Sekiro then asks who her master is again. She then reveals her master to be Ishin himself. Sekiro is shocked and asks why Ishin would try to help. Emma explains how Ishin has no intentions on using the power of the dragon heritage, so instead tried to indirectly help Kuro escape. She explains how to get to Ishin by using the smoke trails his Tengu guards use to navigate on the rooftops. Sekiro understands and sets off. Once Sekiro finds Ishin, he informs Ishin of Kuro's plans and asks if he has any ways to achieve them. Ishin immediately tells Sekiro about the Mortal Blade, a sword said to be able to kill immortal beings. Sekiro asks where the Mortal Blade can be found. Luckily, Ishin knows and tells him it's in Senpu Temple, but also mentioning that the gates are closed with no easy roads leading there. He's unsure what the monks are doing there locked away on their mountain. Before Sekiro leaves, Ishin mentions that the Mortal Blade cannot be drawn. Ishin's unsure what this means, but thought he should warn Sekiro regardless.
So you're the son of Owl. That boy he found during the rebellion.
Yes.
And your travels brought you here. The bonds that tie us are so deeply amusing. Don't you think, Sekiro? So what do you wish to know?
The divine heir's desire is to sever the ties of immortality. I want to know how it can be done.
The Mortal Blade. If you had such a weapon, it may be the key to what you are after.
The Mortal Blade?
With it, you could kill one who cannot die through normal means.
One who cannot die?
The Infested, I believe they're called. I have not seen one before, but it said you could stab them through the heart, or remove their head, and they wouldn't die. If the stories are true, they'd surely be quite fearsome. To kill a monster such as that, you'd need the Mortal Blade.
Where is this Mortal Blade?
I've heard it's held in Senpu Temple. However, they say the Mortal Blade cannot be drawn.
What do you mean?
I am not certain of the meaning. It's just hearsay. The gates to that temple are closed now, though. Who knows what those degenerates are doing shut away up there in the mountains. There aren't any decent roads leading there.
How do I get there?
The abandoned dungeon just outside of Ashina Castle. If you can pass through its waterways, you should find your way.
With that, Sekiro sets off to find Senpu Temple, eventually finding a secluded entrance. Upon entering, he hears a disembodied voice of a little girl coming from a scroll. It states that the monks inhabiting the area have strayed from Buddha's teachings and were seduced by the allure of immortality, warning Sekiro that if he's captured, there's no telling what will happen to him, but it most certainly won't be good, and if that he's determined to proceed, to be exceedingly careful. Sekiro, only thinking about the task at hand, moves onward to Senpu Temple, encountering a small army of corrupted monks along the way.
You would do well to return the way you came. However, I will not stop you from entering, 'entering, 'entering. 'Entering' 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 But if you do, please, proceed with care. I see you have decided to continue. We will pray for your safety. It is the least we can do.
Sekiro eventually finds himself deep in the temple grounds, finding a large Buddha shrine and a single bell. He closes his eyes, rings the bell, and prays, only to then find himself in a different location, a place called the Halls of Illusion. It's then that he's spotted by a monkey. The monkey then yells out, alerting the other 3 monkeys. Sekiro then has a difficult challenge. He has to take down all 4 monkeys, known as the folding screen monkeys. They're called this because the entrance has their visage on 4 folding screen doors, and if you manage to defeat them all, they will be sent back to and stuck inside of these doors. But defeating them is not easy. The fight with these monkeys is a reference to the saying, "See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, do no evil." Each one of the sayings has a monkey associated with it. One has incredible eyesight, another has incredible hearing. One has poor hearing and eyesight, but will alert all other monkeys to your presence if it spots you. And the final monkey is completely invisible, needing environmental or audio clues to find it.
3 monkeys. One of the panels is empty.
Using the environment and whatever tricks he can, Sekiro eventually manages to defeat all 4 monkeys. It's then he hears the same disembodied voice of a young girl speaking to him, asking for Sekiro to forgive the monkeys as they only wanted to protect her. She asks him to close his eyes. He does so and prays, then finding himself at the secluded inner sanctum where the young girl is, alone.
Please, forgive them. They only sought to keep me hidden. However, it seems it was not meant to be. Close your eyes. Let us meet at the inner sanctum.
The girl asks why Sekiro is seeking this place. He mentions the mortal blade. The girl then tells Sekiro how anyone that draws the blade dies soon after, urging him to reconsider. Sekiro insists that the mortal blade is necessary for his cause, which leads to the girl offering the blade to him. He accepts and immediately draws it, only to then die on the spot.
Very well. If you are prepared, you may gaze upon the blade.
The girl, knowing it would happen, questions why so many throw their lives away in search of its power, only to be surprised by Sekiro coming back to life due to his immortality. She then realizes that Sekiro is carrying what she calls the curse of the dragon heritage.
Why is it, I wonder? Are they not loath to die? How are you? Your eye. I see. You carry the curse of the dragon's heritage.
The mortal blade, without question. I accept its power.
After Sekiro explains his intentions, the young girl understands the young Lord Kuro's wish to rid the world of the dragon heritage, and explains that she is one of the many children of rejuvenating waters and the sole survivor. Her false dragon blood created by man, the only one to survive the process, she agrees that the dragon heritage corrupts the lives of men and decides to support you on your journey.
I have read about this. I have read there is a way to sever the dragon's heritage. Which means the divine heir begrudges the power of the dragon's heritage.
That's right.
How strange fate can be. I am one of the children of the rejuvenating waters, created by those who would stop at nothing to achieve immortality. My false dragon's blood was created by man.
Children? So there are many of you.
I am the only one who survived the process. The others are laid to rest here.
I see.
I do not know if it is right to sever the ties of immortality, but the dragon's heritage undeniably corrupts the lives of men, and I share the heir's feelings about that truth. Shinobi of the divine heir, I have decided to assist you. Please, hold out your hand.
What?
Bless us with bountiful harvest.
This is... rice?
There you are. Rice is a precious thing. It tastes better the more you eat it, and restores one's vigor.
With the mortal blade in hand, Sekiro returns to Ashina Castle, presenting it to Kuro, explaining its purpose and how it was given to him by the Child of Rejuvenating Waters. Sekiro goes on to explain what's happening at the Senpu Temple, how many children died forced to try and go through the process of a false dragon heritage using the infested Rejuvenating Waters, the one survivor gifting him the blade. Kuro uses what he hears as a source for stronger motivation, seeing how much the draw of immortality corrupts men.
Rejuvenating waters?
The monks at Senpo Temple abandoned the ways of their faith in pursuit of immortality. The result is those who have false dragon's heritage, known as the divine children of the Rejuvenating Waters.
A false dragon's heritage. I never would have thought. Wait, divine children?
Yes, many were created, but only one survived.
Further proof of the corruption this power brings to man. With the mortal blade in hand, I can now be made to bleed. We are one step closer to creating the fountainhead incense.
Being optimistic, however, with how things are progressing, Kuro begins to share what he found so far in Takuru's notes. A special white lotus flower said to be used as an ingredient for the incense, an incense called the fountainhead aroma, explaining that there are waters flowing from the fountainhead palace down through Ashina, and that the flower can be found where that water pools deeply. They believe the sunken valley would be a suitable location for the waters to pool deeply, so Sekiro is then sent to retrieve it.
What is...
Lord Takeru left it behind. I was looking for information on the fountainhead aroma, and how it relates to the divine realm. There is water that flows from the fountainhead through Ashina, and the book speaks of a white lotus flower that grows where the water pools deeply. It appears to be one component of the fountainhead aroma.
A place where the fountainhead waters pool deeply, perhaps in a deep valley?
Yes, indeed. The sunken valley may be the place. The fountainhead waters should flow into there.
Where is this sunken valley?
It's beyond the woods to the rear of the castle. There's a shrine dedicated to the white serpent deep in the woods. As the name implies, the sunken valley is just below that place. There's no proper path down there, but a man of your talent could navigate it. Did you notice the lingering scent in the incense burner?
I did not.
I see. Then I suggest you do so at some point. It is faint, yet it makes you feel as though there is still some of the aroma left.
Sekiro picks up on the scent of incense in the room and how it reminds him of sawdust and sakura flowers. Kuro agrees, but thinks there's a special scent to the sakura but can't quite recall.
My lord, the incense burner.
You smelled it? What did you think?
I did. The smell was reminiscent of sawdust, but also it smelled faintly of sakura flowers.
Oh, so you smelled it too. I felt the scent was much like sakura flowers, but slightly different. What is it, Wolf?
That scent. It reminds me of something.
You've smelled it before.
I believe so.
He asks Sekiro to go ask Emma about it. Sekiro does just that. Going to Emma and asking about the sakura tree behind the castle, Emma reveals that it is called the Everblossom. It was brought here by Sekiro from his homeland, the Divine Realm. Emma explains how the tree was unusual. It was always in bloom, even outside of spring. She continues by saying that the tree withered and died as a result of someone cutting off a branch and taking the flowers from the tree. The tree needing the flowers to survive, so it withered. The person who did this was never found. Sekiro returns with the information and tells Kuro about the fate of the tree and the stolen branch. With no leads to go on, they decide to focus on the other ingredients for now.
However, the Everblossom no longer exists. It withered away.
Why?
There was a person who cut off a branch and took the flowers from the tree. Without its flowers, the Everblossom was unable to survive. Eventually, the entire tree was lost.
I asked Lady Emma about the sakura tree.
You did? What did she say?
The tree is called an Everblossom. Lord Sekiro brought it here from the Divine Realm, but it has withered away and no longer remains.
I see.
However, it is said that someone plucked a branch from the Everblossom and stole off with it.
Who would do such a thing? What's lost is lost. Finding a stolen tree branch? We have no information to go on. Let us gather what we can for the aroma first.
As you wish.
Sekiro, once at the sunken valley, carefully makes his way down. There's no easy way down as he has to scale the sides of the steep cliffs, making swift progress until he reaches a rope bridge. Making his way across, he is met with a giant serpent who destroys the bridge, sending him down into the waters. He's forced to navigate stealthily into a nearby cave to avoid detection and continue with his objective. Now at the bottom of the valley, inhabited by numerous hostile monkeys, he eventually finds a cave in a wide-open pit. There he encounters the guardian ape. The ape is using the white lotus flower to lure potential mates and takes great care of it, so has no intention of letting Sekiro take it. With no other choice, they fight. Sekiro eventually defeats the ape, beheading the beast, only for the ape to pick his head back up and reanimate, revealing itself to be an infested immortal. Sekiro must fight him again, but this time finish the fight using the mortal blade on the centipede to ensure the ape won't begin back up. With that finished, he retrieves the flower and brings it back to Kuro. Once there, Kuro and Sekiro go over a newly found document made by the people previously seeking the Fountain of Aroma. It mentions a fragrant stone in a sacred village that Kuro isn't familiar with. Sekiro suggests it is underneath Ashina. Kuro then remembers that there's supposedly a bottomless hole connected to this well near the Moonview Tower. the same well Sekiro dwelled in where this adventure started. Kuro then mentions that the document says to throw oneself.
It says here that it is beneath Ashina, beyond the bottom of the well you awoke in, near the Moonview Tower. It says there is a bottomless hole. It may be relevant to our search.
I will take a look.
Good. The text did say to throw oneself. I wonder what that could mean.
Sekiro understands and goes to investigate, investigating the bottomless hole by jumping in and navigating the ledges to find an opening, leading to the Ashina Depths, which then connects to Mibu Village. As Sekiro progresses through Mibu Village, he discovers it's a ghost village. Making his way through the hostile inhabitants and spirits, he eventually finds himself face to face with a very tall apparition of a monk, wielding a naginata. They are guarding a large door leading to a cave, a place where wedding ceremonies are held. After defeating the monk, Sekiro makes his way inside to find the Shelter Stone, the item required to make the incense for Kuro. As Sekiro returns to Ashina Castle, before he can go inside to see Kuro, he is met by his father on the rooftop. Sekiro is surprised, believing his father to be dead, only for Owl to reveal that that was his plan all along, and Owl also believed that Sekiro died that day. Sekiro then reveals that he was saved by the divine heir Kuro's power. His father then explains that he's there for Kuro's power, that he must have the dragon's blood. He tells Sekiro, "Remember the first rule of the code. As your father, I order you to forsake your master." Claiming that from this moment, Kuro is no longer his master, the Iron Code putting Sekiro in a difficult position since it is his father's order. Sekiro ultimately refuses his father, going against the Iron Code, wanting to protect Kuro. Owl is surprised and disappointed that a shinobi could show such compassion.
Wolf, obey your father's command and forsake the divine heir.
I cannot do as you ask.
You... what? A shinobi showing the likes of compassion. Unthinkable. Such a miserable display.
He then decides to draw his sword and attack Sekiro swiftly from behind. Sekiro stops the attack and is given no choice but to fight his father, eventually defeating him, resulting in Owl's death.
Have you forgotten the shinobi code?
A code must be determined by the individual. This is what I've decided. Just as my master did.
Seems you've grown, if just a little. Have it your way, young wolf.
Enough talk.
Been a while since we did this. Give me your all. Wait, please. It warms my heart to see how you've grown.
You taught me well.
That's my boy.
With no time to mourn, Sekiro moves inside to find Kuro safe. Kuro asks what became of Owl, only to be told that he had to be killed. Kuro apologizes for what Sekiro had to do. Sekiro says he was only doing what had to be done, then reveals that Owl had the branch of the Everblossom in his possession. Proof that he's the one that stole it, killing the Everblossom all those years ago.
It's from the Everblossom tree? I see. So Owl had it.
Yes, we are a step closer to the Fountainhead incense.
Yes.
They now had all of the ingredients to create the incense, except one. Kuro tells Sekiro a final ingredient, blood of the divine heir. The only thing being able to draw blood from Kuro being the mortal blade. Sekiro, reluctant to let that happen, has no choice and lets Kuro make a small cut on himself to finish the incense. They light it and smell, trying to figure out how they can reach Fountainhead Palace with an incense.
Yes, it is true that those of the dragon's heritage cannot bleed. However, in Lord Genichiro's quarters, I found a curious journal belonging to Lord Takeru's page, and it appears there is a way for me to bleed. For now, I'd like to ask you to keep this for me. Now then, we just need to figure out how to make me bleed.
Perhaps we should ask Lady Emma.
As a doctor, she should have much knowledge of the human body. Yes, she may be able to help us.
Sekiro recalls seeing the words "sweetly scented bridal offering" being written on the wedding altar where he found the shelter stone in Mibu village. Kuro explains that with the aroma of the Fountainhead incense on Sekiro, the path to the Fountainhead Palace might open, and he may be able to acquire the Divine Dragon's Tears if he returns there.
Yes. There was also an inscription, a sweetly scented bridal offering, written on the altar.
Bridal? What sort of place was this?
It was in a cave, beyond a door made of solid rock.
In that case, where was the wedding procession headed? No way to know, I guess.
Sweetly scented. Lord Kuro. That place might be the gateway to the divine realm.
I see. Sweetly scented. Meaning wrapped in the Fountainhead incense. That is what it might be referring to.
There is something I'd like to ask.
Yes, what is it?
Can the divine heir be made to bleed?
Why would you seek to do so?
The blood of the divine heir is required to obtain the dragon tears from the divine realm and achieve immortal severance.
Oh, I see. It is true that the divine heir's blood cannot be shed by normal means. However, you currently possess the means to do so.
The mortal blade.
Yes, here you are.
This was written by Lord Takeru?
It was. With the mortal blade, you may wound the divine heir, and his blood will be allowed to flow.
I see. This brings us one step closer to immortal severance. I shall tell my lord.
Of course.
Wolf, did you speak with Lady Emma?
I did.
And? What did she say?
That it could be possible with the mortal blade.
I see. So the mortal blade will allow my blood to flow.
As you wish.
This should be all of the necessary ingredients for the aroma. Wolf, burn the incense.
As you wish. My lord.
Wolf, the mortal blade. Fear not. I will only make a shallow cut. Would you draw the mortal blade from its sheath?
Yes, my lord.
Forgive me, but close your eyes.
Yes, my lord.
It's over now, Wolf.
How is the wound?
I'm fine. I just made a small cut on my chest. So this is the Fountainhead incense. It's so extraordinarily nostalgic.
I see.
Well, do you notice anything different?
The aroma and Fountainhead Palace. Those words have been burned into my mind.
Fountainhead Palace. It's just as Lord Takeru wrote. That place must lead to the divine realm. But how can the Fountainhead Palace be reached?
A sweetly scented bridal offering. That was written on the altar where the fragrant stone was placed.
Yes. You now carry the aroma of the Fountainhead incense. I believe the path leading to the Fountainhead Palace will open before you if you go to the shrine within the cave. Immortality shall soon be severed. I'm counting on you, Wolf.
Sekiro returns to the wedding cave, now covered in the scent of Fountainhead aroma incense. He sits down in the altar and waits. Shortly after, a gigantic rope comes down from the hole up above, landing and crushing the altar. Sekiro grabbing on as he is lifted. The rope is revealed to be a hand, part of a giant unusual man-made rope figure that transports Sekiro to the Fountainhead Palace. This rope being is never mentioned or explained, but a talisman seal can be found on a large piece of wood protruding from its back. This is believed to be a magical talisman used as a summoning tool or to give instructions to deities or spirits. So it might be something powerful that was summoned or instructed to control this giant rope figure when a Fountainhead Palace aroma is detected at the shrine. Sekiro soon finds himself at the entrance of the Fountainhead Palace, a place where weddings were held and nobles lived. Blocking the entrance is the same corrupted monk he fought earlier, but this time she isn't an apparition, but the true monk. Sekiro has to defeat her one last time to get through, being forced to use the mortal blade as she too was an infested immortal. Once inside, Sekiro finds that there are many masked warrior women defending the area. They would dance as an offering to the divine dragon, which is said to fill them with vigor. They all seem to have mastery over the lightning of Tomoe technique, the same skill Genichiro used against Sekiro, which leads us to believe that this is where Genichiro's mentor Tomoe used to live. Sekiro, with only the task at hand, moves onward. Progressing through the beautiful land, Sekiro finds himself at a dead end, an area encompassed by a large lake with a giant everblossom tree overhead. It's there he encounters the Great Carp, a giant hostile carp that Sekiro has no choice but to get past. He gets in the water and carefully gets by without getting noticed, using the debris and ruins in the wide lake to his advantage, eventually finding a small hole to swim through and escaping. Upon leaving the water, he finds himself fighting and climbing up to the Fountainhead Sanctuary, guarded by high-ranking warrior women. After defeating them, he finds a small shrine in a cave. He closes his eyes and prays, opening them to find himself in a cloud-like landscape, the Divine Realm.
The Divine Realm.
Sekiro is met with a large group of old sickly dragon worshippers. They are deformed to somewhat resemble dragons, playing their flutes to appease the deity dragon they worship, attacking Sekiro as he enters the Divine Realm in an attempt to stop the intruder. They are no match, however. They are too weak and toppled easily. Afterwards, the dragon itself appears, ready to defend itself and the divine realm from the invader. Sekiro readies himself and attacks, the dragon deity being immune to nearly all forms of damage except for the powerful lightning striking the area. Sekiro uses this to his advantage, utilizing the lightning reversal technique to combat the dragon, striking the dragon with the lightning. Forcing the divine creature to tire itself out from a drawn-out fight. Sekiro then finally manages to take the dragon's tears before being transported from the divine realm and returning to Kuro at Ashina Castle. Unable to celebrate the victory as he's met with Emma kneeling beside a collapsed Ishin. She informs Sekiro that Ishin succumbed to his illness and passed away, and that the enemy forces are using this opportunity of a weakened Ashina to attack the castle. She hands Sekiro a text containing the secret techniques of the Ashina style, revealing to Sekiro that she was entrusted by Ishin to give it to him, while then quoting some of Ishin's final words.
Master Wolf, Lord Ishin left something to me. Please take it.
What is...
A book containing the secret techniques of the Ashina Mushin style. Lord Ishin, if Sekiro is able to master these, I'd like to duel him. That is what he said.
I see.
Sekiro understands and accepts the text before asking where Kuro is. Emma hands him a key, the key to the same secret passage used at the beginning of the adventure while saving Kuro. Emma says the young lord is waiting for Sekiro there, informing him that Ishin instructed his Tengu guards to mark the path with smoke before he died, so Sekiro could find his way.
The Nightjar have left smoke signals on the roofs under Lord Ishin's orders. The smoke should lead the way to Lord Kuro.
Upon leaving the castle, Sekiro finds Ashina under siege, getting completely destroyed and overrun by the invading forces as he tries to get to the secret passage as fast as possible. Upon visiting the dilapidated temple again, the sculptor is nowhere to be found. When asked, the merchant residing outside claims the sculptor stumbled off, muttering something about the flames. Undeterred, Sekiro moves on. Upon reaching the old battlefield where he fought the horse-mounted warrior Gyobu, he finds a terrifying fire beast causing destruction to everything in its path. It is called the Demon of Hatred. This beast attacks on sight, one of the most difficult battles Sekiro goes through. Once he's able to overcome it, he can hear the beast speak in a familiar voice, thanking Sekiro for putting an end to his rampage. It's then we know the demon was actually the sculptor who finally succumbed to his inner demons, the ones he was trying his best to keep locked away, trying to repent by carving Buddhas in isolation. Goal left in his mind, Sekiro makes it to the secret passage. He finds Kuro injured as Genichiro is already there, revealing to have a second mortal blade, a black blade in contrast to Sekiro's red mortal blade. The black blade is said to be able to open a gate to the underworld. It is through this power that it creates life. Kuro explains to Genichiro how his actions, his methods are wrong, and won't be able to save Ashina. once again telling Sekiro that he wishes there was another way, that nobody has the right to the dragon heritage, that it's no one's to bear. Sekiro understands, then draws his sword, ready to fight Genichiro a third and final time, in the same spot where it all started.
You are mistaken. Wolf. No one has the right to the dragon's heritage. It is no one's to bear. I wish there was another way.
It's all right.
One last time.
Yes. Let's finish this.
They clash immediately, but Sekiro ultimately prevails, taking Genichiro down one last time.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
But not admitting defeat, Genichiro has one last plan in mind. Using the black mortal blade, he slashes his own body open, claiming how he himself was powerless, but his grandfather Ishin was not. Making one last wish to restore Ashina, with the black mortal blade's power, he's able to bring Ishin back from the underworld, emerging from the wound Genichiro inflicted on himself.
Grandfather was not the dragon blood surging through her veins. With this, Ashina's long night comes to an end.
Ishin was resurrected. Now once again in the prime of his youth, the age he was considered a hero and sword saint, he is now bound by Genichiro's last wish due to the power of the Black Blade, that wish being to restore Ashina to its former glory by taking in the blood of the divine heir, which means he'd have to go through Sekiro first. Knowing this, Ishin says,
To see Ashina returned from the great beyond. Which means Sekiro. I must destroy you.
the preceding battle is extremely hard fought, only getting tougher as time goes on, the Sword Saint Ishin revealing more and more techniques the more Sekiro fights, truly showing how he earned his title. Sekiro knows losing isn't an option, and after a drawn-out fight, finishes the battle, defeating Ishin.
Now my blood boils. Thank you, Sekiro.
As Ishin knows he's lost, he kneels, readying for death, instructing Sekiro to do it. Using his mortal blade, Sekiro delivers the final attack, Ishin saying, "Well done, Sekiro," with his final breath.
Do it!
Sekiro says his farewell and returns to Kuro, who lays wounded in the field.
Well done, Sekiro. Farewell.
Sekiro heals Kuro's wound before he readies his mortal blade, preparing to end the divine heir as is Kuro's wish, but Sekiro's hesitating. Kuro then encourages his shinobi again to sever the ties of immortality and holds the blade, pointed to his chest to guide Sekiro. Finally doing what he must, Sekiro kills Kuro, ending his life and the dragon heritage bloodline with it.
my sworn shinobi. Now. Sever these ties of immortality.
We see Sekiro later in the dilapidated temple, resembling the old sculptor who once helped him. He sits in the same spot, creating his own Buddhas, no doubt trying to find peace. Emma approaches, explaining to Sekiro that he should hold on to something, revealing it to be the prosthetic arm. Sekiro is no longer wearing it. She claims that no doubt the day will come that a shinobi will arrive, seeking strength. Sekiro, saying nothing, continues to carve, allowing for history to repeat itself.
I think it is best that you have this. No doubt, the day will come. When a shinobi arrives, seeking strength.
Hopefully you learned something about the world of Sekiro. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you have any suggestions on future videos, please leave them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next story.